Samara Gibson, your trusted hairstylist and hair guide, coming to you with an entertaining conversation series, Hot Comb Chronicles. Hot Comb Chronicles is created with the anticipation of my return to the salon world. This fall, I will be opening Rooted in Dallas. It will be located in South Lake, Texas, a luxury hair and scalp retreat, also known as a head spa. This 10-step luxury shampoo process will be complete with many other perks and treats that go well beyond the shampoo bowl. Please follow us on Instagram to keep up with the announcements and our upcoming fall availability. Hot Comb Chronicles details my hair journey starting from elementary school through current day. Many salons, almost every salon is complete with a lot of stories, a lot of entertainment, a lot of education, and my salon was no different. From my childhood bedroom to my parents' basement, to college dorms, corporate America, I've made many friends, many stories along the way. As I say, dues have been paid and memories have been made. So today I want to explore the time period of high school and a little beyond with my guest who is near and dear to me. We both hail from Saginaw, Michigan, Bridgeport to be exact. And before I get into further introduction, I would like to bring in my guest for today's conversation, Aramis Ayala, the Honorable.
Hi. Cut it out.
The Honorable Aramis Ayala. But we'll get back to it. I couldn't resist. So welcome, Aramis. I'm so happy to have you here. I have to say, one of my favorite Wolverines. I'm gonna say it, a favorite Wolverine, and you did have me put on my Spartan bracelet here. I couldn't. I did get up and grab it when I saw your T-shirt. I'm not gonna lie. I'm like, you're not gonna outshine me.
I'll go with it today. We are honoring you.
We're honoring Black women today. We're us. Okay. So, I like to do a little love fest with my get in. So in my love fest, I must refer to my notes. Aramis, in my opinion, and I'm sure many of those who know Aramis would agree, a ball of sunshine. That's what I would use to describe you. A ball of sunshine, very resilient. You live a certain level of gratitude and conviction and honor and integrity that most people could only dream of. So I want to give you your flowers today. You make us Bearcats very proud. You make Bridgeport proud. You make Saginaw proud. You are literally fighting for justice in the trenches at the highest level, advocating for those who cannot advocate for themselves. And you are doing it quite flawlessly, looking beautiful, and all of that goodness. So I just want to thank you for your time, and I want to congratulate you for just being true to you and doing a wonderful job at being a beautiful human and getting out everything that God has put in you. So I begin with that, and I say thank you for you.
Well, thank you, and thank you for having me. And you made a sister feeling good. I was like, but I'll take it. Thank you.
So I'm gonna assume we probably met in elementary school, probably more like junior high. That's my assumption. So I started doing your hair and nails. You reminded
Honestly,
me.
I think
at high school.
I want to say I knew you in middle school. I knew you in middle school, but we met. We're like, hey, what's up? And we knew each other in high school.
Yeah, that
you
sounds
were
more.
95 or were you 90? Okay, I was 93.
Yeah, so you were with Casey. You were with my brother.
But you. Yep, I was with your brother. So obviously I knew him, and I knew that he had this little sister.
Yeah.
Well, several, but I mean brothers and sisters. But he had one little sister who walked around doing hair. That's what I knew.
I love it. You're freezing for a hot second. All right, come to have me do your hair. Like that part, I don't remember. Do you recall how I ended up? And then,
Oh, I remember
so
very clearly. I
please,
remember. So I remember so clearly. It was my senior year, and I remember it was towards the end of 92, 1992, where everyone was talking about, prepping their dresses for prom, who they were going to prom with. And I remember people had just finished homecoming. And I was like, this is senior homecoming. And I heard that Sam did hair. And I was like, yeah, I've heard that before. And as I was prepping for my prom, I was scared to have some little girl do my hair for prom, right? But everyone, I saw all the pictures, and me and my mom went back and forth. And so Irma did my hair.
who? You said who did it?
Irma. Her name was Irma.
Okay. Why do I feel like I remember hearing this story? The more you say it, the more I think I've heard this.
Probably because Sam, this is back in the day where, remember, you comb your hair all the way back and push it forward.
That is why I'm here.
The hairstyle.
Yes, Lord. That's how my dad used to do my hair in first grade. I love you, Daddy, but first grade, that's tough. That's a tough walk to school.
So my mom took us exactly. So my mom took us to her favorite stylist. You know Nikki Braggs, right?
Yes. Yes.
So Nikki, her mom, Carlene,
yeah,
Irma worked in her salon. So I always wanted to see Carlene's hair. And I just didn't like the whole push back, move forward. And that was the style that my mom appreciated, which I didn't, right? So anyhow, I remember thinking to myself, if I could have just someone else do my hair, and every person I saw from homecoming or over the weekend or whatever, Sam can do some hair. So I kept convincing my mom. So we had this deal that I would get my hair done by Irma for my prom, but the guy I was dating in high school, he went to Buena Vista. So I could let Sam do my hair for his prom. And I remember you doing my hair, but my mom let me get my nails done by you for my prom. So the first time was Irma did hair, Sam did nails. The second time, Sam did hair and Sam did nails. And what I also remember is that it didn't break the bank. Like I was working at McDonald's and Sam could do my hair. So it was budget plus fire. It was amazing.
Wow. That is a wonderful story. Wonderful. One thing that I'm noticing is the way we wore our mothers down about hair. It was just, we were like, we go just hit the steady drip. We just go hit the steady drip.
Yes, we started with the two ponytails that stuck out, right? They would say like this all day, right? Then we got to get to my mom would let me get to the one, but then that would look bad because the front would be tattered all day. Then we could cut some bangs, and then it was the dangles side.
Yes.
Correct. Remember the dangles on the side.
Yes. We even glued them in. If you didn't have them, I could glue them.
Right. Then like the mid 80s, it was that whole, you cut the top of your hair and then either you put it down over your eye with the rake that you can comb it in. Right. You did the pineapple waves all the way up to the top, but the top was always a different. So you did pineapple waves for me. I remember that. So once you did my hair for Buena Vista's prom, 1993, I went with Andrew Jones. That was my little boo back then.
Wow. Oh, this is all coming back. Come on.
So you did my hair for prom, and I remember my mom saying, well, we sure spent a lot of money for your prom. She could have just did that. I told you, Mama.
Well, we tried.
So that was the first time. And honestly, I want to say that was the last time that Irma did my hair for my prom.
I'm sure.
So you did it after that. And then over the summer, before I went to college, I remember you tried the pineapple the pineapple waves. You did my hair. Because Irma did this thing, because one time I wanted pineapple waves and they would lay the net over and just pick out a few. You know what I'm talking about? They take the rat tail and why do I remember all this in 2025? I have no idea, right?
Because they are not core memories.
Seriously, like we are scarred.
Yeah.
So when I would go to Irma, she wouldn't take her time and pick them all out. So I would have like 10 here and 10 here. I was like, no, ma'am. And I just want to go home and wash my hair. Oh, so wow. One time I came to you and you were like, no, those are not pineapple waves. And then you would actually wave them all the way up and then lift it. And I was like, oh, Sam got that pineapple wave. Yes. So I remember that was correct. So after prom, and during the summer, and I want to say maybe one time when I came home for break, you did my hair. But you were my breakaway from the 50s and 60s hairstyles. Like you gave me my freedom, like beating my chest where I could be free and I don't have to do the comb back and push forward. I don't have to do the little bangs, you know. I felt free and I never forgot that. It was so funny because you were younger than me. So your exploration and dabbling in a little bit of that made me feel free that I could even be like, Mom, even Sam's doing it because you were younger than me, right? So it was that 10th grade versus 12th grade thing and you were always fired. So I never, ever forgot that. Wow. That was a long story. I don't forget that.
It was perfect. Oh, wow. Look, I've got questions and I'm going to sit down and soak all this in later. How did I come to do your nails though? You just saw people's nails that I did?
No, we were having a conversation because I wanted you to do my hair for my prom. I remember I had this green dress and I wanted you to do my hair. And you were like, well, if you can't, I will do your nails. So it was like you were you were even understanding. Like sometimes you're scared to tell a stylist or someone, well, I'm gonna go to you for this and go to you for that. Even then as a child, like you weren't even, as a young lady, you weren't even moved that I wasn't getting the whole package from you. Like I had to get first my hair done. And then you were like, okay, well, the next time we'll do both. I remember that very clearly. So we talked about you doing my hair, but my mom wouldn't let it happen. But you said that you could at least do my nails.
And the more you talk about it, I almost remember I love them. I almost remember those conversations. And then we have to keep in mind, this is a conversation between what, a 14 and a 16-year-old?
Yeah.
14, 17. This is awesome. Wow.
And I honestly, if I want to say my nails are like $20. Like,
and I was saying the other day, like I charged something insane, like $10 a head or something like that.
Yeah, it was, but they were beautiful. And that was the first time I ever had any acrylic, because that was acrylic back then. Yes, and I remember they were white, and you had this little green triangle with it was like the waves that went out. I was like, she good. You put a little dot and then you
Oh, I used to have so much fun. I remember doing that. Oh, wow. Did it ever pierce your nails? Did you ever get jewelry? Because I would burn a hole.
I did not have the piercing. I did not do
that. I would do it with my regular nail also, and through the acrylic. I would heat up a safety pin to pierce the actual fingernail and then like thread jewelry in there, like a hoop, and put a charm on that bad boy, like a piercing. So some of us had jewelry on our nails. Yeah, just the creativity was off the chain.
The most.
Yeah. Wow.
The most. The most.
Did I cut your hair? Because you had the short on top. So did I also keep it?
I mean, I think over time you would trim it, like keep it trimmed and keeping it healthy. Right.
Look at all that. Did I ever? And I would say there were only certain people who could partake in the whole crimping of the name in the back of your head. I think. Did I ever crimp your name in the back of your head? You would have been the longest. I think I did.
No, I think you did an A. I think you did an A, Because do you remember this? We had this conversation. I don't know if you said, I want to say you were the genius who realized this. You were like, except for the I, our names are backwards.
Yes.
Do you remember
yes.
that?
And I still think of that all the time, because I'll just leave it at that. But yes, I think of it almost weekly.
So because of that, I remember you thinking about, I want to say you crimped an A in the back of my head.
That sounds right. Yeah. Typically, it was 4 letters or less that will make the cut, like Toya. Him. Nitra, instead of Anitra, I was able to put Nitra in the back of her hair, male. So as long as I can find 3. Yeah.
Amazing. I think it was just an A. I think it was just an A.
That sounds about right.
No, it does sound right, because I was such a kid, all booed up, and life mattered. And I want to say that I had an A, but I was like, it really stands for Andrew. It doesn't stand for Aramis. Like, it was like
that is what you said. Yes. You might have insisted
Why
that
I just remember this.
Oh, wow. This is coming back. Yes, that sounds about right. Awesome. Wow. And then I'm almost certain I did your hair for Stacy's wedding, huh? We got a little freeze.
You did? I forgot about that.
And that was probably some sort of pin curl updo. Yeah.
Girl, you was killing the updos, the French rolls, like I learned those little twists from you. Remember, you would take the curl and you would pin curls. That's what they were called.
Oh, your hair pin curled great too, because you've got thick hair.
And I think you did pin curls.
Yes. And probably put some pearls in there. I'm sure. Pearl sound, because we had pearl. Oh gosh.
I'm sure
we had pearl scrap.
And then the baby's breath. You remember the white flowers, the baby breath?
If it's a wedding, it is not baby. Funny, I saw baby's breath at Albertsons yesterday, and I smiled just because. Yes.
So you did. It was for Stacy's wedding. I was in college then, so to have been there. As a matter of fact, you said Toya. I just talked to Toya not last night, but the night before. We were on the phone for like an hour and a half.
Okay, I've got to contact her, because she's like high on my list to get in on this conversation. And I've yet to reach out.
Yeah.
She was definitely a regular in the basement. Definitely.
Honestly, I think that's what, I could be wrong, but I think that's what helped develop, is that we were all so tight knit. Like, I don't remember like major drama. It was who lives across the street. Can you get to Southfield over on Diamonddale? Like, it was just like, we were family. My kids won't get that. You know, they'll try, but we had something very special, and everyone knew that Sam did hair.
I agree to the community feel. I've often said kids nowadays aren't going to know that. I mean, everybody still stays on the same block. For the most part, you are still friends with those that you're in elementary school with. We literally grew up together, and it's way more family oriented than now. So that's something I truly appreciate. And that sense of community, that sense of vibe, that sense of a safe place is a lot of what I'm looking forward to recreating in the salon, because we miss it. And that's where we learn. That's where we relate. That's where we relax. And even though it's not a full open salon setting, that space is still value for it to be created. So I'm doing my part to fill in that gap and to bring back that energy and that community that we're used to, because it's a special thing. And I think the older we get, the more we really appreciate it. At least I do.
Yeah. I mean, you still feel that energy. We still
feel that energy.
No, like, even if I'm the only person in the salon to this day, like, I can still tell that it's a safe place. Like, there's just something about how that feels, like that you feel comfortable, you feel safe. You know, it's the exact opposite of how we often talk, you know, as Black women don't touch my hair. Like, I am not your experiment. You're not going to touch my locks. You're not going to touch my weave. You're not going to touch my natural curls. You're not my afro, nothing. It's the same way that we don't want you to touch us, because I'm not that close to you. When you get in the salon, it's just like, okay, you can touch me. Like you can, like, the boundaries are eliminated. The safety zone has opened, and you just relax. And for that hour and a half to 2-3 hours, however long you're there, it just feels safe. I know for me, like, having, been in office, I always felt really safe and not like looking crazy, like someone was about to grab a phone and see me. You know what I mean? Like, you think about those things. I never feared that in the salon. It could walk in with a baseball cap and look crazy, whatever I needed. And, some people would feel very familiar with me who I didn't really know that well, but it was just that I don't know you, but I know this is your place of safety, and I'm not going to violate that. So for me, as someone who wanted an extra layer of protection, that was a big deal for me. Very, very big deal.
Oh, I love that. Yes. Love it. Love it. Love it. Would you like to share some of your...
Google me. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. I'm totally, I'm kidding.
Google her. You have been an elected official, so you have seen.
I have been an elected state attorney. I was the first Black state attorney in the state of Florida, making history. And thank you. People often talk about, you're breaking glass ceilings, and they celebrate that. I'm like, yeah, I got the cuts on my head to show it, because it's not all the beauty of it. Like, there's pain associated with it. Being in the South, taking that kind of position, and then actually doing the work that I stand for, that reflects who I am. It ended up in death threats. It was, my kids had to have, I had security. It was a really, it was a really difficult time, but I have no regrets. And, I've elevated, and I was able to make an impact. I remained who I was, and that's what I meant. So even bringing it back around to the work that you're doing, when a person is public facing, even if it's a small scale like mine was, we still need a safe place outside of our home. You know what I mean? Like, which public's still safest, right? Like, which gas station am I not going to get? You think about all of those little things that make you feel safe. So even the environment within which we choose to close our eyes and feel that scalp getting massaged and whatever facial expression you have, right, during that moment, right. That's very real. And that is the epitome of relaxation, of unguarded, of where you need someone else to be your third eye, where you need to look out for me because you placed me in a chair of comfort. You've placed me in that, not just for the beauty aesthetically and externally, but you've also placed to help cleanse me internally by the conversation. And sometimes it's not even the conversation. Sometimes it's the silence.
Oh, say it. A very good synopsis of a lot of why I am creating Rooted in exactly what I want people to feel and experience. One of the things that I definitely noticed in my professional hair career, when a lot of my corporate Texas Instruments coworkers became my clients, I would have never known them, experienced them to the depth that I did had I not been a stylist. It's just amazing. As soon as you sit in that chair, there's an automatic wall that just melts. It just melts. You will tell the stylist everything. And I have always valued, respected, and honored that. Like, people are telling me their deepest, darkest things that they're not going to share with nobody. And they'll literally be like, man, I've never shared this with anybody. That's a lot. That's a serious something, a piece of someone that someone trusts you with. And I'm very grateful that people feel safe to bear their
it's funny. It's funny because as an attorney, when we learn the rules of evidence, we learn protections for, spousal immunity and privilege, attorney-client privilege, doctor-patient privilege, priest with your clergy, your psychologist, psychotherapist, all of those exist. I just, in my mind, my Black woman mind, I'm like, y'all might need to add your stylist, your beautician for that, because there are things that come out and you're like, oh my God, did I say that? Right. For me, I've shared things, but I know that's a very safe place for some people. For me, it was to take the political face off. You know me, Sam, I'm who I am, despite having been in office. What you see is what you get. I'm very lighthearted. I love smiles and laughter and joy.
Sunshine.
But that's not the. That's not what politics is. And I also had attacks coming on me, so I constantly felt like I had to have my guard up so that any mess up didn't end up on the news. It wasn't on the front page of the paper. I wasn't the story for the day because I made a face. Like, I remember little things like being in public and knowing that a camera is on me and thinking to myself, I can't make any face right now because this will turn into a meme. So learning to practice straight face, that was difficult. So that's why when I made that correlation to sitting in the bowl and like eyes rolling back because good, that I mean that. So for me, for some people, yes, it is a chair of confidentiality, but some, it's just a chair of comfort to be authentically who you are, where you don't have to worry about, what it looks like, what it sounds like, and what your playful spirit is, that you don't have to be extra serious. Like I'm not gonna lie, when I'm in a salon and somebody's serious, I'm like, oh, this ain't the place for me because it's too stressful. Like, I'm not coming here to be worried about nothing. If you can't let your guard down, the energy of that place is not conducive to my comfort.
Oh, say it. That's great. If you cannot let your guard down, the energy to that place is not, as you said, comforting, correct?
Conducive to my comfort.
Right. Perfectly said. Yeah, I don't think we think about that. Well, I do, because I understand, but I don't think a lot of people understand how important how elected officials, anybody who we put up here, we're people. You guys are people, and just the ability to be yourself, it's understated, undervalued. So I'm glad that you have those spaces.
Yeah, I think about too, sometimes when we talk about it, it is so difficult. So I admire what you're doing, because this is a difficult conversation, only because it's often inarticulable. Like, I don't know how, it's sort of like that where we can all, I'm serious. I feel like you can get a room of Black women who get their hair done, and we can all have facial expressions, look, size, and we've all understood exactly what just happened. Because what it is something that nothing in the English language can help us explain. I'm trying to do it as best I can with your answers. I think you're trying to do it as best you can with this series. But even those of us who are going to sit over here and help elevate the amazing work that you're doing, it's never going to really compare to the actual experience of the work that you're doing.
Oh, I'm going to tap into that a bit further and say, because it's spirit, and we can't fully explain spirit. Spirit don't have to say a word. Energy doesn't speak. That's the purpose of energy. And for you to feel that energy, you have to communicate without words. That's why some people...
Right, because sometimes when you start talking, you destroy the moment. You're like, shh, say nothing. Say nothing. Say nothing.
Yes.
Zip it. Zip it. Yeah.
And that is what I feel so strong right now. As I've said before, I am a connector, I'm a creator, and I'm a catalyst. I know exactly who I am. And I know when one of those three are cut off. And I know when I'm in the flow with that. Connection is so serious. I think if we all really tapped into connection, we feel a little better. We'd be more tapped in, connected to ourselves, which means we can be more connected to each other. But I think Black women were given several extra doses of that. I don't know what it is about us. Can't quite explain that. But we got this part. And personally, I think it's because a lot of times, say that again. I think that's just been in us, and that's something that we've had to have for decades, centuries to survive. So it's just that unspoken thread of we've had to look out for each other. There are other people who have not. We have.
And in addition to that's an entire word. Like, ain't nobody looking out for us. But also because of that, we have no room to be anything other than authentically who we are. Like, we haven't been in this country, if you will, with a level of respect and honor for who we are, that we're trying to climb some ladder to arrive somewhere. We have lived in authenticity and understand that ladder has a downside to it. So we're always like, keep it real. Rise up, but keep it real. I appreciate your success, but keep it real. Like, that idea of keep it real, those 3 words mean so much to us that we understand what that means when someone isn't. You know, I mean, having a 11-year-old and 13-year-old daughter, I'm like, we don't do that. What exactly are you trying to get at? Like, we're going to be authentic to ourselves so that, like you said, we can then be authentic to each other. Because the work that you're doing, I think sometimes people minimize the value of it because people aren't pushing their kindergartners to go do hair. No, go do nails, right? It's not, you don't understand it until you need it. You know, that need is there. And until someone is there to actually meet the need for those who have been elevated as supposed to be the creme de la creme, those who have arrived, until you get that, you'd be like, nah, that is a gift to be able to handle all of this I'm letting down. Because I mean, if you put it in a physical sense, when we let it all down that we're talking about, that means we leave stuff in your space. And you have to have the energy and the ability to sweep it up with that hair you sweep it, right? Like, you have to be able to clean it out and rinse it out and drain it and not take that stuff home, shake it off. That is also a talent. That's an ability to not receive it and you to make it a part of who you are, but to differentiate yourself from that which you've been fed. And that's why, like, your work is really, really amazing because it is so needed. And you cannot have an ego to do what you do. You have to have a genuine, beautiful spirit.
All of that. I'm almost speechless. All of that. The ability to let that go. That is an art. Like you said, that involves a lot of conversations with God. And that just involves you. I just go back to being a good human and just having some understandings, just having something inside of you that knows how to be there, not separate yourself and not absorb it. And I'll be honest, I think a lot of that is why I got burned out the first go round, because it does become a lot. And then sometimes you do hear that same story. And I'm like, I don't want to live Groundhog's Day. And why are we still talking about this? It's been 3 years.